working always away from the thumb. Grip again. So here, that's the weak point in his grip. So I'm going away from that, pulling across. I'm not pulling up and across. I'm pulling straight across. So I'm using my legs to pull him down, and I hold his lat. Okay. Notice how I kind of position his arm. I don't want him directly on top of his arm because he still has an avenue to pull his arm out. Okay. So when I pull him down, I kind of here and I kind of shift my body a little bit so I get his elbow. I know that his elbow's over there, and then I come back. So now I know that his arm is stuck. Okay? So that's the first one. So I'm cupping his lat if you can reach it. If you can't reach it, grab fabric. Just make sure you have this pressure going over the shoulder. Don't necessarily go straight across. Straight across, he can lift his shoulder up and pull his arm up. Okay? If I'm going towards his shoulder, it's really hard for him to do so. Okay? So that's another thing to kind of keep in mind as you're going this way with your pressure. Okay? Not this way. This way. Okay? Here you can unlock your guard. Come underneath to turn your body. Okay? I'm trying to turn my body so I'm as perpendicular to him as possible. Okay? See, I'm not. Huh?
45.
Yeah, it's 45 or it's 90 to him as possible. You're not going to get perfectly 90, but the more the better, okay? So that, coupled with pulling him this way, is going to sweep him over, okay? So here you're pulling his weight on top of you. You need to get his weight coming forward. So kind of another thing you can do is, as you come under, you can use your legs and your arm at the same time to kind of get his weight coming this way, and then unlock to shift your hips out, okay? Also, you need to get your hips out. See how my hips are in between his legs now? It's going to be really hard for me to sweep him over. Even if I have really good, pressure pulling, and he can just sit back, and it's hard, okay? Now, if I get my hips out and he sits back, it's still, sit back, I can still pull him right across. And that wasn't even me using momentum. That was just me pulling with my hand and pulling up with my arm, okay? So once you're here, get your hips out and sit back, Tim. Use your leg for momentum. Swing it up. Okay, and keep this tight. Hold tight. This and this tight, and then you're setting yourself up for good submissions. Okay? Any questions on that? That was the first one that we did from that position. Nope? Okay. From there, we did the arm bar. After that, you okay with it? Okay. So, grip, same. Everything else is this. Everything is the same. Break your grip away. Pull across. Pull your knees. Make sure you got his arm across. Here. Okay. Arm underneath. Get his weight kind of going. Shift your hips out. Use your momentum. Stay tight. Now notice how I straightened my bottom knee, my bottom leg when I did that. That makes it easier. When I came here, I didn't just let my leg flop and him land on top of my leg. Because then it's going to be harder for me to get up, and then he has a chance to get back up on the top. Okay? So, as I do that, straighten my leg. Now we both roll over easy, and I bring my leg up high next to my elbow. Okay? His arm is still pulled across his body. Everybody come over here. Now I'm going to start shifting into S mount. I'm on top now, so I've got a good position. I can let go of his leg. I like to underhook his arm here. That kind of keeps my body glued to his. I'm going to go into S mount, so I'm not going to lock my foot up like this. Because it's harder to get an S mount, because you got to go all the way this way, and then you got to try to invert your foot. It just makes it harder, and you're creating a lot of space there. So you straighten your leg. Straighten your leg against him, turn your heel. Pull his shoulder up so you can get your heel underneath his shoulder. Kickstand your leg out a little bit and bring your knee and your heel together. So everything here is tight. Here. Okay? Get his wrist this way. You can let go of this now and grab one of his legs. I just grab this leg because it's the most convenient. You can grab this leg if he's flailing around or whatever, but I grab this leg, okay? Now this is like a smashing technique. So you have the guy on the bottom kind of tighten their abs a little bit so they don't, you know, because you're going to be doing this, so you're going to be smashing them. You're going to be up here for a little bit. So your weight doesn't go forward, goes this way, like you're pulling your ear to their knee, okay? So you can bring your knee over, and then you sit back. Don't sit back before you do that. Pull your heels tight, pinch your knees, start laying back. Reason why, hold on to this, so we can't just run around and do a hitchhiker escape. If I let go of that, I'm going to pull this, go back, go back. So if I get to here, and I go to here, now I gotta start worrying about being on the bottom again. Okay? I went from a submission to defending again. So if I'm here, I hold on to this the whole time. I'm here and he tries to hitchhiker escape. He's not going anywhere until I get to here, and then you're done. Any questions on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you bring your leg up for the S mount, the other foot in the back, are you on your toes live, pushing weight into them, or just on top?
Oh, my kickstanding leg?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, across here, like this. So I end up like this after the sweep, okay? Like this, and I hook. Actually, I like this after the sweep. So I come here, and then as I straighten my leg, this kicks out, and I like to be on my toes. You're not necessarily driving into him as much as keeping him glued to your body. So I'm here, and then your weight, now my weight is going into his torso. Okay, I don't want to be too far over, obviously.
That's just for balance.
Yeah, this is just for balance, so in case he tries to bridge into me, it's gonna stop him. If I had my foot tucked and he bridged into me, going back, right? So you're on your toes, and your kickstand out, and then your pressure is here and here, pulling, squeezing this way, okay? And then you go through the steps, okay? So that's the second technique. Third technique was same thing. You're here, break their grip, pull it across, pull your knees, pull his lat, and now you're trying for the sweep, right? Trying for the sweep, and it's just either he's bridging his leg, he's posting his leg back because you're trying to reach for it. Step up on your leg, back away. Yes, so I can't get it. A lot of people do that, but you can't quite do this because his weight is too far back. Okay, so what you're gonna do, underhook, this palm up, this palm down, and you're keeping everything tight here. This leg, plant, shift your hips up, okay? That's really important. As you do that, you're pulling his body. You keep this really tight, you're gonna end up kind of turning his body a little bit so you can get this hook in. I wanna be on my side as much as possible. So I kind of shift and turn on my side, and I kind of straighten my body as I lift my hook up north. And then I do the same thing as before. Get my knee up and start going into my S mount. Okay? Questions on that? Really important on that one to get to your side. I would say kind of the most common mistake with that is people doing it from here, like this, and they're just trying to lift it. Trying to lift and turn. It's not going to work. You need to be on your side so you can chop this way. Chop and straighten your body this way. You almost, if you do it correctly and you have enough pressure here, you almost don't need to use your hook as much. Okay, so come closer. Here we go. So if I got this, I can't really lift with my hook. Just chop and roll. And then you might end up in half guard or whatever, but you have this underhook, so you have a good like knee-sized pass from there. Okay? So, but it's really important to be on your side with that. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard to elevate their back part of their body. Okay? Questions on that one? No. Okay. Third one. We're here. Break their grip. You're here. And you're going for the sweep, but they just kind of sink back, and you just can't really move. Okay? So what you're gonna do, hold everything tight, shift to your side. Get to your side and hide your elbow. Okay, you can hide your elbow underneath your side, but I want you guys to try to escape it all the way. Okay, so you want to, the biggest thing is to shift and get to your side and keep this tight. Because if I'm on my side, it's going to be hard for him to pull his arm out. Okay, once I'm on my side, I can use this leg either here to lift my hips or on his back to lift my hips. I'm on my shoulder. My pressure right now is on my leg and my shoulder here to get my arm behind me here. Okay, I'm always hold on to this. I'm here, boom, to get here. Now, it's gonna be really hard for me to just climb up onto his back, so I need some sort of base. So I bring my knee out. Okay, if your foot hooks here, that's fine. If it's out here, that's fine too. As long as your foot has access to here, to his legs as a hook, then you're fine. And I'm always holding here. As I push off, I need this arm to sink in as I'm trying to get my back hook in. Okay, as I'm pushing my hips up here, even if I only have one hook, that's fine. Okay, but I need this to be in first before I go for the overhook. Okay, that has to happen. Because if I'm here, I come here and I plant both, I'm trying to get my feet in and he just raises his hips, it'd be really hard for me to take it back, okay? So this is gonna hold you on his back. Okay, so once you're here, you're pulling, boom, sink this. You don't have to grab his wrist as long as your underhook is in, that'll do, but if you have wrist control, that's good too. Okay, and sink your hook, get your hips back on his hips, and then finish with the seatbelt grip, okay? We have questions on that back take? On any part of that back take? No? Okay, so we did the first sweep, we did the arm bar, the second sweep, and then the back take. Okay? So, there's no questions on that at all from anybody. We drilled those and we're going to practice. You want to do that?
No, so we start practicing.
Okay. Let's spend like 10 minutes just kind of reviewing those with partners, and then I'll go over one more technique. Okay. Yeah. Maybe your submissions from the back, you're not comfortable with your submissions from the back, or you just don't want to be on the person's back. And I know that a lot of people say that the back is one of the strongest, it's probably the strongest position in jiu-jitsu, and I don't think so, because maybe in gi jiu-jitsu, but in low gi, you're pretty limited from the submissions that you can do on the back, right? You have like a choke and an armbar are probably like the biggest things that people will worry about, and a lot of people are really defending those. Okay, but you can kind of go into a modified mount from trying to take them back. Okay, so we're gonna go over that really quick, just to kind of give you a heads up and something extra to add into what we're already doing. Okay, so everything else is the same. You break the grip, pull across, pull your knees up. Okay, and you're gonna go. It's the whole back. The back takes sequence. So you're going here, they sink back, and you can't really do it. Okay, scoot your hips out, hide your elbow, up on your shoulder, in your knee. Okay, now I'm here. I'm always holding on to this back lat. Okay, now I'm on my knee for base, so I can push up. Now maybe I don't want to take it back, and my foot. Come over this side. That's my foot here. I haven't really pulled it out all the way yet. Okay, I haven't. A lot of times, and you guys might have noticed this when you do it, is your foot can get caught on their thigh, which can be a good thing. Okay, so you're here, you're on your knee, and you're hooking their thigh. What you can do is come up onto your hand, use your hips to push into them, and you're going to step your knee kind of over. You're not gonna step like this, but you're kind of going to act like you're putting your knee there, okay? And you're it's kind of spin, you're just kind of spiraling them around. So when you come up, you're going to kind of hip bump into them and come into like a modified mount. And then you have your setups. You have your chokes, your arm bars, triangles, lots of different things from there. Or, you can just use a mount if you want. Okay? Any questions on that?
You do that one.
Yeah, there's another way you could do it. If you're having a hard time with it, here, break, go across. Here, I'm going for it, he sinks back, okay. Shift out, hide my elbow, up on my shoulder, and my knee, based out, I'm pulling here. Okay, now I'm hooking with my foot, and I'm trying to do this, and maybe I don't feel like I can get a good enough hip bump. So, just plant both of your hands and turn. Keep your knees kind of pinched a little bit. You don't want to keep it pinched down here, keep it pinched more along your shoulder blades. Turn your body this way. And then you're here. Okay? Any questions on that? Get this stuff.
Online ninja school. What if he goes to post out with that hand? How do you bring that back in?
Which hand?
Maybe left hand. If he's not fully just hunkered down.
So I'm here. And where? Is
That
that?
left hand postures out a little.
Okay. You can collapse that. You can grab this.
Okay. Right at the wrist.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you grab this, it's gonna stop them from going that way. So the more you bump your hips, it's really not gonna do much. Because you're at a huge advantage here.
Okay.
Because if your hips are right up here on his chest, you're at a huge advantage. Yeah. So if he puts out, you don't really. You can do that, or just take it back. You know, that's room for your hook. You know, there's multiple scenarios to use this. You know, if I'm here, and his elbow's tight, you know, I'm trying to get my hook out, and I can't really get my hook out. Maybe he's holding on to my leg. You know, especially if he's holding on to my leg.
Yeah.
You know, it's right there. So yeah, collapsing that hook is really not the problem.
Okay.
Just grab it and keep it bumping in. If you don't get it on your first hip bump, just keep it going. You know? If so if you're here, right, you go for it and he posts out and you don't get on your first hip bump, just keep going. There's such a you have to fight all your weight on that one post, and it's gonna be really hard to do. Especially if you're holding on to it, you just keep collapsing the weight over that post. It's gonna be really hard to do. And then, yeah, set up your, if you guys know submissions from here, set them up. Or work on just control. Whatnot. Any questions on that? It's try to get high with your hips. Not over their head, but over their shoulder blades. Turn their body. Okay? So when I go for it, I'm not down here. I'm not here trying to against his hips. I'm right here. Going that way. Remember 45s? 45s. Okay? Let's give that a shot. That'll be the last thing.